Peru News Today. All you need to know about Peru.
Festivity of the Virgin of Candelaria of Puno. Devotion and Tradition. The Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria of Puno, declared Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity by Unesco, constitutes an expression of the enormous religious fervor of the Puno people, which unites the Aymara and Quechua traditions. The Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria of Puno is one of the most important cultural and religious events in the southern region of the country that is celebrated every February. It has its origins in the syncretism of Catholic traditions and the Andean worldview. According to the Ministry of Culture, the religious festival dates back to the times of the Viceroyalty of Peru and constitutes an expression of the enormous religious fervor of the Puno people, which is characterized by its multiple living cultural manifestations. This celebration represents the harmonious coexistence and union of the Quechua and Aymara traditions in Puno, he highlights. The anthropologist Charo Tito Mamani, in the article Representations of Local Identity in the Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria in Puno, Two Worlds, Two Encounters, states that the image is the patron saint of the city of Puno and is also known as Mama Candelaria. For social actors, Quechuas, Aymaras, Mestizos, the patron saint of Puno is associated with Pachamama, the cult of the earth. It is for this reason that the Candelaria festival in Puno contains a world of meanings, he indicates. Origin of the cult. Juan Carlos La Serna Salcedo, author of the book Religiosity, Folklore and Identity in the Highlands, A History of the Festive Universes of the Mamita Candelaria of Puno, points out that towards the 17th century the most important religious festival in the entire colonial highlands was the one dedicated to the image of the Virgin of Candelaria consecrated in the sanctuary of Copacabana. The historian maintains, as part of one of the hypotheses that explain the origin and celebration of the Virgen de la Candelaria in Puno, that the image could have been in one of the chapels of the Spanish homes near the silver mining town of San Luis de Alba of Lake Ecota. This fact allows us to link the cult of the Virgin of Candelaria to the stories that narrate the appearance of the Virgin in the Lake Ecota mines, said Juan Carlos La Serna Salcedo. He added that the population of this area will be transferred to the then district of San Juan Bautista, under the name of Nuestra Señora de la Concepción and San Carlos de Puno, after the end of the mining rebellion against the crown of the brothers José and Gaspar Salcedo in 1668. For Juan Carlos La Serna Salcedo, the news of the miracles of the Virgen de la Candelaria probably awakened devotion among Spaniards and indigenous people throughout the colonial period. This caused images of the Virgin to be located in various towns and ranches in the highlands. It is stated that the first chapel in the highlands, today Peru, dedicated to the devotion of the Virgin of Candelaria, was located in the Arcani Ranch, 9 leagues from the town of Huancain, says Juan Carlos La Serna Salcedo. According to Charo Tito Mamani, from Arcani the Virgin of Candelaria will begin to be venerated, until reaching the city of Puno. Festive and cultural scene. According to the thesis of the anthropologist Charo Tito Mamani, there are no exact data and dates on the arrival of the Virgin of Candelaria to Peru from the Canary Islands, Spain, where her veneration began. However, she affirms that the arrival of the image to the city of Puno is expressed in many myths. We only know that the Virgin arrived with the Spanish conquest, and that little by little the cult of the Virgin was reproduced throughout the country, Arequipa, Lima, Moquegua, Puno, etc. In the case of Puno, the Virgin of Candelaria, she is one of the most important virgins of said city, he indicates in the document Performance and Identity in the Carnivalesque Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria in Puno, the staging of two worlds that come into tension. Charo Tito Mamani assures that the Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria as such will officially begin in Puno approximately in the year 1960 with the participation of native dancers at the beginning, and then become a mestizo celebration as the devotion grew up in the region. Tradition and modernity come together in this festive space, in which the processes of reproduction and social transformation are intertwined in this festive and cultural setting of national and international significance, she says. Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity. On September 2, 2003, the then National Institute of Culture, current Ministry of Culture, declared the Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria as Cultural Heritage of the Nation. In the document that makes the declaration official, it states that the people who mobilize for these activities are participants in the Christian faith and the ancient roots of the national identity expressed in the festivals of ceremonial dances and rituals. declare the cultural heritage of the nation to the Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria of Puno, expression of the traditional manifestations of the living culture that characterizes the communities settled in the southern mountains of Peru, which contributes to the regional identity and national, resolved the National Directorial Resolution No. 655. But it was on November 27, 2014 when the Festival of the Virgin of Candelaria was declared Intangible Cultural Heritage of Humanity by the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO. Traditional music and dance. The activities and ceremonies of the festival begin on January 21 and culminate on February 17, with the central day of the festival being February 2 when the Mass and procession are celebrated as a preliminary step to the Great Native Dance Competition. According to UNESCO, the main festival of the Virgin of Candelaria begins in early February with a Mass at dawn, followed by an ancient purification ceremony. The next morning, a liturgical act gives way to a religious procession, while the image of the Virgin is carried high through the streets accompanied by traditional music and dances. In addition, the document specifies that the festival continues with the celebration of 2 competitions in which some 170 groups from across the region compete, totaling approximately 40,000 dancers and musicians. The main practitioners in these activities are rural and urban inhabitants of the Puno region of the Quechua and Aymara ethnic groups. 3 regional federations of practitioners cooperate to organize the festival and preserve the traditional knowledge and skills associated with dance, music and mask making. Craft rehearsals and workshops are the places where these skills are passed on to younger generations. The festival closes with a ceremony to the Virgin, a parade and farewell masses, adds the UNESCO committee. The archaeologist Nizar Ruben Jalca Espinosa, in his article The Virgin of Candelaria, Origin, Representation and Faith in the Peruvian Highlands, maintains that the dances in the festival reflect the syncretism generated between dances of pre-Hispanic origin and religious manifestations during the evangelization process during the 16th and 17th centuries. The native dances and those of lights, each with its marked style and diversity, attract the gaze of locals and foreigners for their highly elaborate costumes and the interpretation of the men and women who assume the roles of peasants, shepherds and even mythical demons and biblical angels, to the rhythm of Peruvian and Bolivian bands, because in the name of faith, geopolitical borders are unimportant, he indicates. Activity Program. February 1st, Entry of Cavalry and Coppice from 10 a.m. February 1st, Solemn Eve of the Virgin of Candelaria, in the atrium of the cathedral, from 6 p.m. February 2nd, Solemn Mass of the Feast of the Virgin of Candelaria, Central Day, in the atrium of the cathedral, from 10 a.m. February 2nd, Procession of the Venerated Image of the Virgin of Candelaria through the city of Puno, starting at 2 p.m. From February 3rd to 8, Octave Novena Masses to the Virgin of Candelaria, in the San Juan Bautista Parish. February 3rd, First day of the Native Dance Contest, at the Puno Stadium, from 8 a.m. February 4th, Second day of the Native Dance Competition at the Puno Stadium, starting at 8 a.m. From February 7th to 9, Candelaria 2024 Gastronomic Festival, in Mariátegui Park and Aguas Park, from 8 a.m. February 9th, Solemn Octave Mass to the Virgin of Candelaria, in the San Juan Bautista Parish, from 10 a.m. February 11th, Mestiza Dance Contest, Light Costumes, at the Puno Stadium, from 7 a.m. February 12th, First day of the Parade and Veneration, Dances in Light Costumes, from 8 a.m. February 13th, Second day of the Parade and Veneration, Dances in Light Costumes, from 8 a.m. February 14th to 17, Farewell Masses for groups of Kashar Paris. February 15th, Concert of Bands or Brass Vientos del Altiplano, from 10 a.m., in the main square of Puno. Leave us your comment and subscribe to continue growing and follow us on our social networks, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok.
Peru News Today. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram.